Welcome back to Four Faces. And here's a story that I covered a while back. His name was Kendrick Johnson. It was about a teenager, about 17 years old. He passed away in January 11th, 2013. This was a sad event because the child was found dead inside a gym mat. So this is an update to that story. So let's do it. So just to recapture on exactly who Kendrick Johnson was, he was a child, 17-year-old, and he was found in a wrestling mat. A wrestling mat. Can you imagine that? Dead. Uh, Now the police officials in Washington said, "Oh, he was trying to get a pair of sneakers. And in the process of getting a pair of sneakers, he couldn't get out, and then he died. He suffocated, asphyxia." Positioning asphyxia to be more precise. This sounds dumb to me. And if you look at my past videos that I did a coverage on the story before. You can check that out. Look at the other channel. Look at my other channel. You'll see me talking about this. It was crazy. It really was. So as the story goes on, a lot of questions come to mind. They're wondering how did the child fall straight down vertically in a mat that's 6 foot tall, and why was the body? Now, check this out. The body was found with newspaper stuff in it. I mean, what type of craziness is this? The funeral home, they had newspapers in it. Now, let's do some speculations here. Let's examine this for a second. I believe that there's a lot of parts to this whole thing. I believe that some people might have just capitalized on this moment, and they might have felt like, okay, this is this little, minority. We just pass through this case real quick and say it's an accident, so we could just keep this, keep it moving. We don't want to look like, And you may say, well, why would they do that? Well, first of all, the possible kids that could have been. I don't want nobody throwing a legal lawsuit at me, but the kids that was implicated in this was a father who was an FBI special agent. Now, check this out. He resigned. So the kids who might have, was a speculation, who might have actually caused the trauma to kill the kid and then put him in the mat, those kids, their father was an FBI agent. And this is why there's a lot of speculation that this might be a cover-up. Now, there's a YouTube video on a lot more of the details here, and you could check that out. Just Google that. Now, that's one area, right? That the cover-up is with the, why is it that, first of all, why the FBI, the kid's father who possibly, who have kids rather that might have caused this, why would he resign if his kids are innocent, right? That do kind of make you think. And then you got the other issue where the kid's body was found stuffed with newspapers. Now, listen, I'm not a coroner, I'm not a funeral home director, but I do have friends that, work at funeral homes, and they don't stuff the bodies with newspapers. I mean, like, what type of sickness is that, right? So what I believe with that issue, I believe there's two separate issues here, right? I believe with the thing with the funeral, I believe that some of those organs was probably sold. Listen, we have a lot of that going on. That's just my speculation. But the fact is that there are body parts of kids that are being sold, and that's a fact. Now, whether this is the case that occur or not, I can't say for certain, but it sure definitely looked like it, because think about it. If body parts are missing, why? Why? You know what I'm saying? And the parents never got to see the child prior to to all this nonsense going on. So there's a lot of questions with that. So here's another disturbing part to the story, and this is dealing with the kids, right? So I talked about the situation of the possible suspects, the father being an FBI agent, him retiring, and then we got the funeral home where they found his body stuffed with newspaper, and that could have been a possibly selling of organs. But here's another thing that's really kind of crazy. Kendrick was basically, he was into sports. He was a good student in class, but yet the students said they never seen him come in the gym. But yet they have pictures of the students seeing him go right into the gym. So they said, "Oh, we never seen him. We never seen him." But we have video pictures rather of Kendrick in the gym with the students there. So that's really crazy, and that tells me that some of those students know exactly what happened. They know what happened. They know exactly what happened. But guess what? They not saying nothing, and that's a fact. Because this kid wasn't some kid that was stuck in some corner, quiet, zipped up, not talk to nobody, was an outsider, No. If he's athletic, then he's more likely, socializing with other kids, talk to other kids, etc. And if he got good grades and he's, a good student, people know you. People are going to know you. They're going to know who you are, especially if you're playing sports. So my thing became, the way I see this is that, you know what? There's a lot to the story that unfortunately is never going to be told. It's never going to come out, unless someone confess. Because here's the bigger problem. This happened in 2000, early 2000s, right? In 2013, January to be more precise. Those kids are gone. They graduated. They moved on in life. So if you moved on in life, if you graduated, you're out of school, you probably got your job now. Maybe some of them might have kids now, whatever, you're talking about 2013, quite a few years went by. Some of them probably in college. Some of them left the state. There is so many variables now. And let's be honest, most of them probably don't want to be bothered now. They probably know what happened. The only thing that would bring someone to tell the truth about what happened will be guilty conscience, right? Someone have to have some type of guilty conscience to come forward to really, really clarify this. Because right now, to be honest with you, the problem is, you're talking about years later, right? Let's think about it. And you got to put yourself in the same situation. You're a kid. You was a teenager. You're in high school. You know what happened. You've seen what happened. You have you know, right? But then again, right? What do kids say? I don't want to be a what? I don't want to be a snitch, right? And you got to look at it this way too. Their lives are moved on, right? They moved on in life. They might have a good paying job. They might, have a kid now. Who knows? They might have moved to a different state, maybe a different country, right? So there's so many variables. And unfortunately, it might always just become a mystery. The whole full story may never be told. And to the parents, I could imagine them wanting answers, them wanting clarity, them wanting, someone to just say this and that happened, because, we still, even though the evidence of foul play is there, let's get that out the way. Even though we know there's been foul play, and whether or not that's on, something dealing with the kids of the FBI agent, what that got to do with the students in the gym who said, "Oh, we never seen them going to the gym." Meanwhile, they got video of him literally walking in the gym with students in there, or whether or not the funeral home, stuffing with newspaper, and then each one of them blame each other. We don't know what happened, who put it in there, whether there's any of those silliness going on. We do know that at the end of the day, it's going to be very hard to give closure to the story. Very hard to give closure. Or, you got to remember, police, they're going to watch out for their own, right? They're going to try to close the story, the case, as quickly as possible. It's 2021. And, it's unfortunate that the parents, not just the parents, but the family members, and the closure it's crazy. But at the end of the day, this is Four Faces. I definitely want to send condolences to the family. I'm gonna keep doing updates with this story. Anytime we get something that come through and pass my desk, we're gonna talk about it. Um, it's a sad situation, and to me, I mean, the shocking part is it's just hard to believe that parts was literally missing from him. Like, what type of nonsense is that? With that being said, we do have stories here on Four Faces, and we will be talking about missing kids and how there's a market, unfortunately, to take kids' body parts, and that's a fact. This is what's happening, and it's just not here in America. It's really all over the place, all over the country. It's happening everywhere. We will be back. Four Faces. Subscribe. Stay tuned. Peace.
When we got the body for the second autopsy, that organs, the heart, lungs, liver, etc., were not with the body.
The brain?
The brain, they were all absent.
Every organ from the top of Kendrick's head to his pelvis gone, and his family had no idea.
We have been let down again. And when we buried Kendrick, we thought we was burying Kendrick, not half of Kendrick.
I'm not sure at this point who did not return the organs to the body, but I know when we got the body, the organs were not there.
So CNN contacted the two entities that had custody of Kendrick's body and access to his organs: the Georgia Bureau of Investigation, which conducted the first autopsy in January, and Harrington Funeral Home, which the Johnsons chose to embalm and prepare Kendrick's body for burial days later. A spokeswoman for the state tells CNN after its autopsy, the organs were placed in Johnson's body, the body was closed, then the body was released to the funeral home. State investigators say it's their normal practice, but what happened after his body arrived at the funeral home was anything but normal.
What was in the place of the organs?
Newspaper.
Newspaper.
Dr. Anderson showed me the pictures of Kendrick's body he'd taken during the second autopsy.
It's a Black Friday ad, JCPenney ad.
Yes.
Stuffing that newspaper in like it was a garbage can inside his body. It's unbelievable.
I'd imagine that that's a different kind of pain.
Yep.
Why do you think that there would be newspaper stuffed in your child?
I never heard of that before. Never.
Neither had the founder of a National Embalming Academy contacted by CNN, who said it's not consistent with the standards of care in the industry. Nor had the president of the National Association of Medical Examiners, who told CNN he's never heard of this practice.
Why would the funeral home discard his organs and stuff them with newspaper?
The question is, why did he tell us?